What up guys, Jembu here and welcome to Bloodhunt Central. Today, the community patch update notes have been released after the community live stream. So with that, let's jump right in. So I've tried recording this video now 2 or 3 times and it just feels like I am waffling on because there is so much content in this patch that's coming that when reading through it, it doesn't give it justice unless you're speaking out about it and putting your thoughts to it. So here we are, we're going to go through the list of stuff that's coming in tomorrow's 0.6 community patch, and hopefully this time it'll be a lot quicker than I thought it would be. So first off, we're going to be getting free stuff. There's no way or long way to put this about it. We're going to be able to get player icons and player banners in the store every now and again, and these are going to be unique and on a time limited basis. And we're also going to have one of the daily challenges be able to give us some token rewards. Now, however many tokens, we don't know yet, but even if it's like 10 tokens, in the long run it'll add up. The main bit and the main focus of this patch, I think, is the fact that duos mode is coming. Now, it's not going to be live straight at the beginning. It may be live like an hour or two after. They just want to make sure that the game is working as intended and nothing is broken. It's going to be 42 players, and it's just going to be different from the actual trios. They say it's a lot more fast-paced. They play duos in the internal playtest, so they know it's a bit quicker. Kill credit is finally here to whoever downed the person and not to the person who finishes them. We know this has been coming for a while, but it's nice to know that if the down person gets killed by the red gas, entity, fire, or shark, that you'll still get it if the enemy is eliminated before they've been revived. They have done a fair bit as well to the pacing of the game. We can now re-queue after we finish the game. It'll only work in solos, and it's not supported fully yet in trios. So if you do use this function in trios, then be prepared to load into a game in the solo queue. And they've also changed the pre-match and post-match timers, so picking your place to spawn, your archetype, going through all your stats and everything at the end of the game, that's going to be a lot faster as well. In group play, one thing that people have been wanting for a while is that you're going to be able to ping the map when you are dead, so whether you see other people or you want to ping where the nearest spawn location is. They've done another tuning of the gas timer. They've reduced it a fair bit from the initial time to round 3. There was still times where there was a big lull, maybe at the end of round 2, start of round 3, but it's nice to see that they're still constantly looking at that timer to make sure the game doesn't lull an awful lot. Now, going into loot and item adjustments, we've got 2 high tier loot locations being added: Memorial Park and the Graveyard. And they'll get their own caches as well, where you're going to be able to get golden weapons or higher tier weapons and such like that. They announced it in the roadmap and such. The blue visuals for looted areas are going to be gone, which is nice. Consumable are now being automatically collected. Now, I have waited for this one forever. I mean, it's one of the first things I wanted, because just making sure that you're going to pick up the right thing, and if you're going for an armor and then you pick up a weapon, then you've got to go back and change. It's a pain in the ass, but it's going to be nice to be able to do this going forward. They've fixed the spawns for the gold weapons and improved the visibility of the caches to make it know that people are there. And they've also added a particle effect around the lid to draw your attention, so hopefully you're going to be able to determine if it's empty or not been picked yet. They are doing a bunch to help newer players. I mean, it's always good to get new players in, but if you're playing and then you come across some of the tier 1 clappers, as they're being called, like Viking and people like that, but if you're new to the game, you will be put in with some bots for your first few games. Now, they're not like god tier bots or anything like that. You'll still understand that they are bots, but they will get you used to running around, jumping and such like that. They've streamlined the tutorial, which is always good. And now, if you are a new player and you don't want to do it, don't want to do the tutorial, you can skip it. Push to talk is now on by default, but because of the change, your audio setting will be reset. XP callouts have been added to notifications for downing, eliminating, and diabolizing enemies. Now, I don't know what that means, if I'm all honest. Maybe it's going to tell you how much it is when you've done it. And they've also done a new screen where you are going to be able to see what rewards you've got from what quests. The last bit for newer players, now I'm assuming this is for all players, that your reviving health is going to be now 75 instead of 50, but your invulnerability timer is going to go down from 1.5 to 1 second. Now, every live stream cannot be complete without people going, what about performance? What about optimizations? And they have added some. Now, I don't think all the bug fixes and everything have been put into this because it is quite a short section, but they've hopefully fixed the issue with the DX12, and they've also made a few settings that, if you've changed them, actually now reflect correctly. There's also an audio fix that's been implemented so that it doesn't hang with your CPU as much as it has done. So I'm really hoping that they fix that car alarm bug, because I can still hear that. If I go from an area, I can still hear the car alarms going off around. But yeah, the changing of the config files, I know quite a few people change their config files so that it's a bit of a lower graphic settings and everything like that on, but they have made it so that a couple of the bits can't get changed anymore, as it was giving them an unfair advantage. So they've also added new stuff to do, and also things to make the game a little bit more fresher. We've got 6 new quests that are going to come in, but you'll have to really speak to the Primogens to get those quests, and hopefully they'll be able to make it clearer in the future. But make sure that you speak to the NPCs that are in Elysium. They've also added more daily challenges. At the moment there is 3, and they've now bumped it up to 8, I believe they said. 1 being the one to get extra tokens, and also they are experimenting with mutators. So every now and again the game will throw like a mutator into it, for example speeding up the red gas, changing all the loot locations, giving yourself resonances. That you start with like 3 random resonances. It'll be shown in the pre-match screen so you know what's happening before you actually load into the game. They are saying that keep an eye on Twitter and the Discord, as they'll be letting us know what they're doing at what time. And there's also a few new unlocks in your journals to deal with Halloween and such like that. Now on to the balances. They're upping the amount of civilians that have resonant blood to 80% from 60, and they are also changing the sanguine resonance so that it's now increased per level. So it's 1, 2, and 4 HP a second that you get back. So it's going to be, that's going to be a big bit. Onto the archetype changes. The Prowler Scouting Familiars has a max duration of 45 seconds now. This should help with performance as well, as they're not going to be there for as long. And it's the same with the Saboteur as well. The Sewer Bomb now has a life duration of 5 minutes, so it's going to stop people having to load them unnecessarily. But also the initial bomb damage for the Sewer Bomb has been up to 20 from 10. For the Toreador, the max range you can travel with your projection without having it disappear will now only take horizontal distances into account. And with the Siren as well, the slow from the Blinding Beauty has been reduced from 50% down to 15. So it's going to give you a little bit of an extra chance to retort after being blinded. There are a lot of ranged weapons balances. The SMG has had its damage reduced from 12 to 11. It may only seem a small amount of damage, but if you can kick out 40 rounds really quickly and you're missing quite a few of them, it could mount up really. LMG has had its damage increased from 15 to 17. Revolver, this is a big one in my mind. It's gone from 45 to 50, so if you can get headshots, I think it's a 2 times multiplier, so that's a hell of a lot, and you're only going to need to hit with four bullets now to down a person. Dual pistols have had their damage increased, but their maximum rate of fire decreased. It's going to make it so that you can be a little bit more accurate, as you're not going to be spamming it all over the place, but that's a nice change. And the Toreador has had its damage upped from 25 to 26, so it brings it in line more with the assault rifle. Now, one of my favorite guns in the game actually is the burst rifle, and it's nice to see that it's having its damage increased from 22 to 25, and also having its accuracy increased. Marksman Rifle is getting a well-needed buff, has increased the accuracy but reduced the rate of fire. Now, it's a Marksman Rifle. You shouldn't need to have to spam it, and the bloom on that was horrendously large. But yeah, it's going to be nice to see an increased accuracy. And the crossbow has just had its ADS reduced from 0.8 to 0.6 to increase to bring it in line with the other weapons. And then finally, the rarer melee weapons for the spike bat and the fire axes have had their damage increased by 5. I mean, those nobody really likes to use the spike bat or the fire axes. They just need some reason to actually use them. That's it now for the patch notes. I'm hoping there's going to be more that's made it into the patch notes. As I asked Jacob, can we get a copy of all the patch notes? But he said that there was a lot, and a lot didn't make it into the patch notes, but did make it into the patch. There was a Q&A session on the community stream, and we got a few questions. So the PS5, anything to do with that, they are doing their next live stream purely on PS5. So hopefully that'll answer whether there's going to be crossplay, when it's going to be launched on the system, and what to do with the battle passes and the stuff you've already grinded on the PC if you want to play on PlayStation. There's potentially going to be unlocking jumping in Elysium, so that you're going to be able to get used to the movement in there. They have said about rank, they did a survey not too long ago, and off the back of that, they're looking at building it with the community. If you go to the Discord and type !rank, you'll be gained access to the rank channel, where you're going to be able to beat Tiggy. They're working on in-game reporting, so hopefully that'll come in the future, and a kind of kickback to say, yes, this person who you reported for hacking has now been banned, or what repercussions that they've had. And they also explained a little bit about the matchmaking. So after 1 minute 15 of matchmaking, it will look for another region close to you to see if there's a game, and then another 1 minute 15, it'll look for a further region. So after about 3 minutes 45 seconds, you're technically searching globally. So they've advised, if you don't want to play with the higher pings and stuff like that, after about a minute, cancel your matchmaking and then relaunch that matchmaking. So it may take you a little bit longer, but it will stop you from having that high ping. In regards to stats and such like that, that hopefully is coming soon, as they have sent a bunch of stats off to the Tracker GG website to be able to implement. So hopefully there'll be a beta or something coming at the website soon, as they now have a data dump that they can now implement into their system. And also, Venture is looking like it's almost done. However, without marketing on the live stream, they were unable to tell us really about anything. With the Venture, I think more than anything that it's going to be the December patch that we get them. Whenever the battle pass finishes and the next one starts, I think that's when they will introduce the Venture. as it would be a new season kind of thing. The last but not least, they potentially are looking at custom games in the future. However, it's a lot more technical than people may think, as you need to be able to spawn servers on command. That's it, guys. That's the summary of what went on in the patch notes and the live stream. If you like stuff like this, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button and following me on Twitch and Twitter. We've got the patch tomorrow, so we will be playing it and seeing how it fares. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in Prague.